Everything's going good, man. We're chipping away at this thing.
So I'm watching the live stream and it just seems like it's just falling off, falling off, falling off, falling off.
What time do I have a driver's meeting? 8 o'clock?
Yeah. We are finally at the track for our first GLTC Gridelife race. Tons of hard work has gone into this. Obviously we want to win the race, but we also have to be super realistic about the fact that we're still kind of in a shakedown mode, unfortunately. I'm excited. I'm ready to make some laps. It's basically a brand new car. Well, I hadn't even driven it with the new engine or the aero, so we'll see. God, it looks good though. The wrap looks awesome. Rapper Mike knocked it out. We did not give him very much time to do it. 24 hours. It was a tough order. The car looks amazing.
We got the livery done. It's absolutely beautiful, and I'm just feeling pretty hopeful. I'm sad that I can't be there. Happy to be in Japan, but sad I'm not there. So I made the decision not to be a hovering micromanager team owner and just to say, what happened, because I'm dying to know. There's a lot of questions that we don't have answers to until we actually get out there and race. And I think that this weekend is going to be a really good way to make that happen.
Next is up, we need to take it to tech where they can look over the car, make sure that it's safe for racing, make sure everything is up to par, such as a roll cage diameter, such as where the cage goes, fire suppression bottle, things like that.
We actually haven't had a 10/10 lap with the setup how it currently is. With the splitter, with the wing, with the new engine, Brian hasn't done a lap at all. And so going into practice, that's literally the first time he'll be driving the car 10/10.
It's super critical that we get this practice, man. All I've done is basically stare at a screen, make sure we had oil pressure, make sure everything was working well. I have not made any laps in this car at full tilt. These other guys have been driving their car, developing it over time for multiple years. I've done 45 minutes to an hour in this car, tops, and it was never full 10/10s. I'm anxious just to get on, not really anxious, but I just want to get on track and just kind of really assess the car. Practice one is just going to be, let's kind of figure out what's going on with the car. Let's learn it a little bit.
Pulling a pin for the first time terrifies me.
So on our way to practice, we accidentally sent the fire bottle off.
We have to buy a new bottle now.
We pulled the pin and I guess, the cable itself wasn't tight enough and it just discharged. It was actually a blessing in disguise because one of the lines wasn't pushed all the way in, so it just leaked everywhere.
GLTC drivers' cars report false immediately.
We were late to practice, unfortunately. That was critical that we got that practice, man. We got on track, we did the out lap, and there was a red flag situation. I saw it happening kind of in real time.
Something happening over here in turn 1.
Might be on fire, keep right.
So as soon as the red flag was coming out, I dove into pit lane. I was there so I could sit with the crew instead of sitting on the side of the track. So we did not get any practice at all.
Session next. All drift drivers'
One
cars.
lap.
I didn't really learn anything just now. It was just more like reacclimating to the car and whatnot. But the qualifying's pretty long, so I think it's like 40 minutes. So we're not even gonna try to qualify. We're just gonna go, okay, let's learn all we can learn. Let's make the changes we need to make. Qualifying's a little bit longer than practice. We're gonna stay out there the whole time. We need every single lap we can get. The way it works is your fastest time from qualifying will qualify your position for race 1. So we're gonna go out there, we're gonna make a handful of laps, and if I feel like we've got a really good paced car, I'm gonna kind of drop back out of the pack, make a lap, qualify well, and then use the rest for practice. qualifying did not go well. We qualified 36th out of 47. The car's pretty tight at the center of the turn and on exit, so basically as I turn the wheel, the car just wants to push. So we're gonna figure that out. We're gonna realign the rear. Looking at the V-Box video, our top speed was like 102 miles an hour. So we're definitely down on power. We're getting smoked in the straightaways. The car's so tight and I get so tight at the center and exit that we're probably losing 3 seconds because I can't get on power, And if we're actually down on power, that's a problem too. It's kind of something that's plagued us, other times during test sessions as well. We made good power on the dyno, then we get to the track and something's happening and we're not able to make the power that we once made.
Brian called me after qualifying and said that the car is super down on power. We have a low AFR, but the positives are that products are working incredibly. Because for me, that's probably the most important takeaway and the most important thing that we can be doing here is prove our products work in a motorsport environment and to make our products better where we can. So oil coolers for the trans cooler, diff cooler, and oil cooler, everything's staying cool. The fans are working great. The oil catch can is empty. All the baffling is working there. And the dual piston brake booster eliminator is working incredibly. He said that he is able to brake way later than just about everybody. So to me, that's great news, but if we don't have the power, we're not gonna be able to be in the top 5. And that's at least where we wanna be. That's the goal at this point. So we'll see what happens.
Welcome to the opening race in the Gridelife Touring Cup. And look at that wind blowing in the background here. And there's potential for some massive rain, but the wind right now is just unbelievable.
Attention to the paddock. GLTC drivers and cars. Race 1. Next event.
The fastest lap time of race 1 qualifies you for race 2. So if I find a position where I've got good pace, I may drop out of the field a little bit, try to find an opening and slam a quality lap down.
And we are racing.
We were kind of bogged down in traffic, but we were making up positions. We ended up 10 spots. So I kind of just wanted to see how the car raced with some of the guys from Gridelife. So we just kind of stayed in there and did the best we could do. So race 1 is over. Definitely still down on power. It wasn't like perfect handling, but it was still manageable. It's just the power. The odds of people are leaving. I'm killing them though in the turns.
So Brian called me after race 1, and I watched it on the live stream. And again, it's late at night here in Japan. But to get from back of the pack to something in the top 10 is very, very difficult. And I know that Brian passed 10 cars in race 1, which is pretty incredible, especially still being down on power. We don't even know what the car's making, but we know that it's not doing what it was originally.
Like most of the day, I've been flopping around in the sand like a fish. Trying to diagnose why we're running so rich out of nowhere. Could be a map sensor. Many things. Only time can tell. I'll figure it out.
I feel like building cars in general kind of forces you to be bipolar because it's a roller coaster of emotion all the time. You go into a track day to test, all optimistic, and you start ripping good laps and the engine blows up. And then you get everything together and you get delivery, so you feel really good about it, but then the car's down on power for practice and qualifying. And then race 1 wasn't what we wanted, but we got these incredible golden hour rolling shots of the car by the Gridelife crew, and I just couldn't be more ecstatic about how they turned out.
So good news is Mike thinks he found the problem as to why the car is running rich. I'm very excited about that. I would be very happy if I could have some more power going into race 2 because, man, getting smoked in the straightaways is getting old.
Dude.
High five! Record it.
That's still going out of Lambo.
We did good. Cheers. Cheers.
I'm glad we haven't even set up load, so.
Yesterday at Carolina Motorsports Park, we were under a massive windstorm for much of the day. Today, vastly different. Beautiful blue skies. The wind is there, but much reduced.
Race 2 is here. We qualified towards the back just because of our lap time in race 1. It's all good because we're making up a ton of spots. The car is handling so much better than it did in race 1 and during qualifying. We're still down on power, but it is so much better than it has been.
Brian is going up and up and up. It just seems like every 30 seconds he's up a position. And so race 1, 2, 3, 4 set us up for the next one. And so if we can go up 15 positions, then we're gonna be awesome for race 3.
Everything's going good, man. We're chipping away at this thing. I've got another 4 or 5 cars I can see in my sight line that I'm slowly easing into. I'm getting ready for turn 14. I've got a guy coming up my inside. I can tell that he's gonna do the dive bomb. I knew it wasn't gonna work, but I let him do it. So I was just gonna kind of do it like under him. So he dive bombs me, I kind of get checked up early, turn in. I give him some racing room to the outside. He drops a few wheels off, cuts back across the track, and kind of 45s me into the left rear. The damage actually looked cosmetic at first, and I went back on track, but man, it was undrivable.
The rear end, the way it feels. Said undrive. All right.
So I got a text from Hunter, and it said, just a few words, Brian got crashed into. I don't know if the car is super damaged. I don't know what's going on.
So look, there's tons of road here, and he's trying to come back on the track, and he just hits me. Man, I don't even know what to say. I'm gonna go have to take this to them, so.
Oh, we got hit here. This is our toe link on our widest fab V2 grip kit. First indicator right now is you see those threads are kind of stretched out. Then we have a little stress crack there, so I prefer not to send it, but it's not really a big deal. I'll just have to align around it, and I'll be able to get it pretty straight.
Once we brought it in, I kind of made the decision that I didn't want to know what they're doing to fix the car. Like, Mike, just get the car back on track. Hunter, just get the car back on track. I'm gonna drive what I've got. I don't want to get too lost in the nuts and bolts, as Chase would say.
That's gonna kind of call it for the whole weekend. And race 3 and race 4 are the middle of the night in Japan, so probably gonna miss those. So I'll just have to wake up and see what happens.
Now we know, like, we don't have a bunch of stuff torn off, so we can breathe, work through it, get it done, and we're good.
So man, that's racing. Unfortunately, these things happen. The competitor came over, we had a chat about it. We shook hands and walked away from it. No one's mad at each other. So I'm just ready to go ahead and dive into race 3. Like I said, we're going to the back again, so it's just more cars to pass.
Field steaming down into turn 1.
Race 3 is underway. We're showing really good pace. We're up about probably 10 to 12 spots. There's a wreck at the front that brings out the full course caution, and unfortunately that ends the race.
Going up and making it 3 abreast. That's really difficult, man.
No.
And there's the inevitable result.
That was a interesting move by Vidoc. Yeah, there we go. There's the full course yellow.
It is what it is at this point. Just want to learn as much about the car as possible, how it handles, you know, balance some curbing, and just see what we can do better for Ginger Men. We wound up 26th, so overall, I think we did really well, all things considered.
Brian called me and we talked for 2.5 hours, just talking about the wins that we had and kind of, you know, just trying to see the silver linings of the weekend, because after race 2, it was just kind of like, all right, let's just try to dial the car in.
We never had ABS working. The AFR was 9.5 to 1, so that was why we were so far down on power. But overall, I think it's a big win. We made a ton of positions up, you know, starting in the back, moving forward, starting in the back, moving forward again. One place I was strong in was the braking zones. The dual piston brake booster eliminator was great.
All the chase-based products kept everything cool. The braking zones were incredible with the dual piston brake booster delete. We were 3 miles an hour faster in the corners than the top of the field. Brian did incredible on kind of just being team leader, directing everybody throughout the weekend, and of course driving. I mean, it's hard when everything's working against you. It's so easy to get angry. But he kept it cool, kept it together, and I think that's what makes him great behind the wheel.
I think it's a big win for the weekend. These guys really busted their asses nonstop. We got a little bit more to work on with the car as far as finding some more speed. We are not getting any awards, unfortunately, but we're going to support everybody else. Meeting all the competitors was cool, man. You will not find a group of cooler guys in the Gridelife paddock.
Spirit of the weekend, Eric Megan. I don't know what he did, but everybody said he was great this week.
We know what we have to do to be competitive. We've learned all that, so now it's just time to get to work and implement all those things.
I feel really good. I feel very optimistic about, you know, the next steps. We know that we have the grip. We know that we have the braking zones. Now we just need to get the power. So I feel like it can be a lot of fun now, and I think we can still aim for the championship on GLTC. So let's do it.